Hello, everyone. Welcome to the current affairs session where I'll be discussing all of the important topics that are related to UPSC. And let us discuss today's current affairs. Right, today, that is 30th April. Right? The month of April went by very fast, unlike March, which was very slow. Yeah, day by day, the amount of current affairs in the newspaper is reducing a lot. You guys see this news? Over 30 Siberian Huskies abandoned on the city outskirts. People are getting cruel day by day, right? Dogs do not even know how to speak. They do not even know what is there and what is where. Leaving those kind of dogs on the street nearly 30 in this heat. Even we cannot bear the heat. A dog which has a lot of fur and which cannot bear the heat. How much trauma would they have been gone through? I think there needs to be a check on who is owning the dogs and how they are taking care of all of the dogs, because even they are what do you call living organisms. Even they have the right to live, right? Let us start with today's discussion. Like, first, the war on Iran and Gulf shattered illusions. Basically, this editorial is talking about how Iran and the battle that went into Iran actually disrupted everything and how everything can be normalized in Iran. Basically, what happened? There was a tussle between Iran, USA, and Israel. There was a tussle between Iran, USA, and Israel for the Strait of Hormuz. And whenever there is a tussle on the Strait of Hormuz, obviously there is going to an absolute war. And Iran started to use bombing, and similarly, US and Israel also started to use bombings. What happened? The the main person that actually got injured more is Iran. And as you know that whenever there is bombing or whenever there is a conflict or whenever there is chaos, what will happen? Firstly, that region will be in devastation, right? All of the electricity transmission lines or all of the buildings, all the infrastructure, all of the place will be, all of these people will be displaced. Everything that is in Iran currently is out of, in what do you call, everything is down, right? All the buildings are down, all the health infrastructure is down, all the educational infrastructure is down, all the electrical infrastructure is down, all the people are displaced. Iran is actually in what do you call this, devastation. Whenever there is devastation in Iran, and what will happen? The surrounding countries also get affected. Before surrounding countries getting affected, it is the countries that are dependent on Iran firstly getting affected. Right? Iran ensures that there is supply of oil and all through the Strait of Hormuz. So as there is conflict in Iran, the Strait of Hormuz and all of the supplies that are done by Iran are affecting the global countries, because as fuel supplies go down, what will happen when fuel supplies go down? Fuel prices in importing countries rise, right? Whenever the fuel supplies of importing country increases, the what do you call energy prices also rises, and all the infrastructure that is dependent on fuel is also increasing. And lastly, all the goods that are mainly used for transport or that need fuel for production also increase. Thereby, it is having a multifold impact whenever it comes to these kind of conflicts. Whenever there's a conflict in a country which is supporting or supplying a lot of what do you call exports, then that country is usually what, ensuring that it is more of damaging all the countries that are importing from it. So that is why India is also facing a lot of damage or the brunt. That is why if you see in the newspaper, many people are going to the petrol pumps. Why? Many people think that there is a fuel shortage, even though the government has repeatedly told that there's no fuel shortage. There's no need for you guys to go and uh, get your vehicles get fuel. Despite all of government saying all of these, people are still going there, and people are ensuring that they are constantly filling their fuel. Yeah. So this is what happens. The public gets agitated whenever these kind of conflicts happens. Firstly, whenever there's a conflict in Iran, firstly, the one that is affected is Iran, obviously, because there is a lot of destruction in Iran. Secondly, the person or the countries that are dependent on Iran's imports that are affected. Thirdly, all the countries that are surrounding Iran, right? All of the countries that are surrounding Iran, like Saudi Arabia and Kazakhstan, sorry, Tajikistan, I guess. It's Turkmenistan. All of these countries that are surrounding uh, Iran and all of the what do you call Gulf countries, right? Saudi Arabia. Then you have mm, all the Gulf countries are shaken. Yeah, or Saudi Arabia and all. What do they say? They say that our country is very safe and you can come to our country anytime and stay safe for a longer period. But what happened? Just as the war started, there were bombings in Saudi Arabia. Many people who went there for vacation started to panic because there is bombing. They were fearing for their life. And whenever countries like this, who say that they're safe and reliable, are being attacked, then all of the governments in that, and all of the investors in that, and all of the people in that are also afraid, because investors are afraid because if they invest in UAE, yeah, and what will happen if they invest in UAE? Someone might come and bomb, so all of the investment will go down. If someone goes for a vacation in Saudi, and someone is bombing there, will you go to the vacation there? No, people will obviously not go to the vacation. Yeah. So this is what happens whenever there is a conflict. People think that it is only, all the countries think that it is only between two countries or three countries, but there's not two, three countries. There is a ripple effect. Just like how Iran's bombing had an effect on India and all the global countries that depend on India, and also the surrounding countries such as Saudi Arabia and all, there is a conflict and constant ripple effect whenever there's these kind of tensions. So this editorial is saying that these kind of tensions have already happened. Now the only thing we need to do is for look for solutions, right? What has happened has happened. Now we cannot do or go back in time and tell that we can change this and we can turn this around. All we can do is now change what is in front of us, what is in future. So the only way that can be changed is by the Gulf countries helping Iran. The Gulf countries can help build Iran, rebuild Iran, and the only way that can be done is by a bridge. And the author says that India is that bridge because India has ties with both Gulf countries and also Iran. As there is conflict between Iran and the Gulf countries also, the author is saying that India can act as a bridge between these two and help rebuild Iran so that everything can stabilize and normalize. That is what this editorial is saying about. One, there is a conflict in Iran that has a main effect in Iran, first. Secondly, all the countries that are dependent on Iran. And thirdly, all the countries that are surrounding Iran. These are all the conflicts that are happening, and how we can resolve them is what this editorial is all about, right? Then you have South Asian power balance shift towards Pakistan. This is an editorial that says that Pakistan is actually becoming a middle power. Now let us understand what middle power is, right? Before understanding what middle power is, let us understand what the actual situation is. In the actual situation, there is a conflict. As I was talking, there is a conflict between Iran, Israel, and USA. Someone had to talk. Someone had to go in and tell that that's not the right way to make things, because you guys, or the conflict between you guys is affecting everyone else. Someone had to go and say this, but no one is daring and no one is going to say. But a country stood up, and that country is nothing but Pakistan. Pakistan stood and said that you guys are being a little childish. I think you need to stop these kind of wars because it's affecting globally. So Pakistan started to mediate talks, right? Pakistan started to mediate talks, and whenever Pakistan started to mediate talks, what happened? It gained uh, global attention, right? It gained global attention and started to be in all the news. Many people, when Pakistan came into the limelight, saying that it would negotiate or it would act as a mediator between USA and Iran, everyone started to laugh. But then when USA agreed to a ceasefire, that's when everything changed, right? Pakistan ensured that there was a bridge between USA and Iran. Now, why do we need to talk about Pakistan? Obviously, the reason we are talking about Pakistan is because of India's actions, right? India, there are four kinds of powers in globe. One is the superpower, then there is global power, then there is middle power, and regional power. These are the four kind of powers that are present in the globe. Superpower includes USA, China, and all. Global power includes India, whereas regional power includes Pakistan. So what is happening? A regional power is trying to mediate with a superpower. It has dared to go and stand against a superpower and tell the superpower it is wrong. So that is what caught global attention. And the reason we have this editorial is because of India. While a regional power was going and talking to a superpower and started to get mediation and also gain global attention, India, which is a global power, was staying silent. Yeah, India as a global power was staying silent, and the reason many people say that it is selective restraint, meaning that it willingly stayed out of it because it has ties with USA. If India actually went and talked to USA, USA could have added more sanctions because already it is increasing sanctions because of the trade with Russia. Yeah, as it is increasing sanctions because of trade with Russia, if India again went and talked to USA for a ceasefire, then what would have happened? India thought that more sanctions would have been placed. So, in order to avoid those kind of sanctions, India said, let us stay silently. But at that time, Pakistan actually gained a little courage and went and talked. This is making it more in the lines of soft power. There is hard power and there is soft power. Hard power is nothing but technology, military, defense, population. All of these are nothing but hard power, right? Where there is uh, abundance in something. There is abundance in something, be it military, be it population. You are using that as a weapon to control something. Just like how USA tries to control using sanctions. That is nothing but soft power. That is not hard power, right? Soft power is what? Soft power is something that includes negotiation, talking, policies. All these are nothing but soft power. In this current era, I think more than hard power, it is the soft power that is more important. So Pakistan started to use soft power and is actually gaining a lot of global attention for its soft power use. Right? So that is what this particular editorial is saying. The editorial is saying that India has to use soft power and has to start negotiating because India is slipping to the middle power. Because as I told you, in this era, it is not the hard power, it is the soft power that is required, meaning that soft power should be the weapon. So whenever there is a global event that is happening, India should come forward and start acting. Unless it acts, it will not become a global power or become a superpower. Yeah? It will not stay in the global power as long as it does not act. So it has to act whenever there's a global event or whenever there is chance or opportunity for negotiation. Just like how Pakistan took it. Now Pakistan is considered to be rising towards middle powers, whereas India from a global power is shifting towards middle power. That is what the editorial is saying about. Yeah, that's what the editorial is saying. Next, we have why digital vigilantism. Yeah, saying why digital vigilantism is not the problem. Right? Basically, this editorial is talking about digital vigilantism. Digital vigilantism is nothing. What is vigilantism? It is nothing but being aware of what is happening around and pointing out whenever there is something wrong. That is nothing but being vigilant. And digital vigilantism is nothing but where you are pointing out wrongs on the digital media, meaning that on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you see something that is going on wrong, you point it out by liking it or sharing it or commenting on it, so that it will get more connect and more what do you call mm, visibility. Yeah, if that issue gets more visibility. Now the author is saying that digital vigilantism is actually a problem because of few reasons. Now, what are the few reasons why digital vigilantism is a problem? Now, social media posts can actually go beyond just speaking. Yeah, social media posts can go beyond just speaking, because if one post gets shared, yeah, if one post gets shared, let's say one post is there. Let's take the post of huskies only. Yeah, today I've seen the news where huskies are given. one post where all of the 30 huskies were abandoned was shared, right? It was shared on the news that, or the Instagram or YouTube, that 30 huskies were abandoned and one of them died. That was shared on the social media, and people started to share it, and people started to comment on it, and people were saying that is wrong. Obviously it is wrong. Obviously torturing an animal is obviously wrong. So people started to share it and people started to comment that it is wrong. Then what happened? It started to gain attention. This is called digital vigilantism. Yeah, whenever you're seeing something wrong, you take it or take a photo of it, take a video of it, then post it on social media, which will be shared by many people and which will gain much attention. That is nothing but digital vigilantism. Now, why does digital vigilantism come into play? The main reason digital vigilantism comes into play is because the system fails. If someone was there to take care of all of the dogs, yeah, all of the huskies that were there, if there was someone who was going to take care of it, would they have what do you call recorded the video? No. So the main reason digital vigilantism came into existence is because of the lack of legal system, or the slow process of legal system, or lack of justice. These are the aspects why digital vigilantism came into existence. Why? Because there is lack of justice or there is delayed justice. So that is why people are taking and showing it so that it will gain more attention and that will grab authorities' attention. So they are indirectly forcing people to take action. That is nothing but digital vigilantism. But there is problem with digital vigilantism, right? Because let's say I think something is wrong. For everything that is happening, there's two sides of a story. There's not only one side. If someone has hit a person, I'm taking the video of that person being hit. So I'm only recording one side of the story. I'm not recording the other side of the story. Maybe that person has harassed that person. I don't know. But I'm sharing the video where X person is hitting Y person and everyone is sympathizing with Y person. We never know what Y did to X. So it is not showing a complete picture. Without showing a complete picture, it is giving a false allegation. It is giving a false idea that people are supporting. Right? Many people are sharing everything, but we don't know exactly what happened. This causes a lot of problem. X person actually might have gone through a lot. Now, as everyone is judging X for hitting Y, X is being what do you call called out. Everywhere X goes, what will they do? They'll go and tell him, why did you hit him? There will be a very big problem and there will be what you call shaming of X. So that is why digital vigilantism is a very big problem, because it is not the lack of freedom of speech. Right? The problem is not the lack of freedom of speech. It is the lack of what do you call legal justice. As long as there is legal justice, everything is fine. People only react whenever there is delayed justice or whenever there is lack of justice. If everything would have been fine, no one would have recorded anything. But there is a good thing with digital vigilantism. See, India is a very big country, right? And with around 1.6 billion population, anything can happen. And using social media as a tool to ensure that everything is going right and everyone is looking at everything is actually a good thing, because some things might go out of sight and some people might take videos and take photos and bring them into sight. That is a good thing, but it is a very thin line. There are some aspects which are actually better, there are some aspects which are actually wrong. If you see something, there is, let's say someone has been allegedly falsely alleged for what do you call any rape or something, what will happen? We don't know it was a false allegation, but we know that there was an allegation on that person. Now what will that happen? That will obviously put that person down. So that is why digital vigilantism is good on one aspect and bad on another aspect. One is that it is bringing everything into sight. Two, it is actually very dangerous because we don't know the whole story. We are supporting without knowing the whole story. Whenever you support without knowing the whole story, what will happen? There are high chances of it going wrong. Yeah, that is what the author is saying. That is why it said why digital vigilantism is not the problem. Why? Because digital vigilantism was given as a right to people. People were given social media so that they can talk. But it is not the problem. Why is it not the problem? Because the problem is the legal justice system. As the legal justice system is not acting, people are taking everything into their hands and doing the justice by themselves. They are trying to label people, they are trying to tell who is wrong, they are telling who is right. They are becoming the jury, they are becoming the judge. But we already have a judge, we don't have jury system, but we already have people who actually can understand what is right and what is wrong. That is why we have judiciary. We don't need all the people to come and judge a situation or become a jury for some situation to say that this is wrong and this is right. Right? That is what this particular editorial is saying. Right? For this we need solutions. What is the solution? One, strict legal systems. Legal systems should be strict because that is the main problem. Right? As the legal system is not working, people are taking into their own hands. Otherwise, nothing would have happened. Right? Remember, there was a situation, or there was a event where this post was shared where a man was urinating on a woman in the airplane. Many people did not, the airlines did not take any action until and unless that woman started to post the video on social media. Only when they posted the video on social media, then they took the action. If they took the action right then and there, would she have posted the video? No, she wouldn't have posted the video. That is what is happening. That is why a legal system should be very strict. Yeah. Social media is a good thing, but using it for everything and shaming people and judging all the situations without any complete understanding is actually wrong. So that is why we need a legal system that is fast and accountable. As long as it's swift way in justice and accountability, everything's all right. Yeah, that is what the editorial is saying. Yeah, these are all the editorials in today's newspaper which I found that are interesting and are necessary for UPSC. Right, you can use them in governance, yeah, digital vigilantism, and you can also use it in GS3 in science and tech. Science and tech, you can use this. Then you can use this in GS2, international relations, and also you can use it in GS4 in international ethics. And you can use this in GS3 economy, where investments and all of them are being taken away because of a conflict that is happening in the globe. Yeah, these are all the aspects that are present in today's newspaper. Yeah, thank you guys. We'll meet you guys in the next class.